Hello, this is Chef John from foodwishes.com with creamy mushroom ragout. That's right, we're taking assorted wild mushrooms and making a super simple, incredibly delicious stew, basically. So let me show you how to put this together. This will work with anything, but I'm going to show you what I used, and I'm going to show you briefly how I prepped them. So here's my assortment. I had some lobster mushrooms, very beautiful, some chanterelles, golden chanterelles, and shiitake, and then your basic, boring, kind of past their prime, white button mushrooms. So for shiitake, you're going to want to remove the stem. Very tough, very fibrous, not worth it. Just pull it off, and then you slice up the tops, okay? For the button mushroom, you don't really have to trim the stem, but like I said, these were like way past their prime, but still delicious. So I did trim off the bottom a little bit before I sliced them. Chanterelles, you can eat the stems. So I trimmed off the bottom if it was discolored, and then I like to cut right through the stem, just like that. Lobster mushrooms, very simple. I just cut that in slices, and generally we're going to get these about the same size. These are going to cook for a while, so it's not that big of a deal. But, for aesthetic reasons, it's kind of nice when they're the same, size and shape. Okay, so once our mushrooms are prepped, and I had about 1.25 pounds maybe, I'm going to take a heavy pan with a little bit of olive oil, little chunk of butter. I'm going to put that over medium-high heat, and I'm going to toast that butter until it's just a very light, nutty brown. Okay? Not too dark. When it looks like that, I'm going to toss in my mushrooms all at once. It's fine. Don't worry. I'm going to throw in a pinch of salt. And don't worry about overcrowding, because what's going to happen, these are going to cook down. The salt's going to release the liquids. That's going to evaporate out, and then it will start sautéing. This will work with any amount. It's kind of a by feel, by instinct recipe, which, of course, everybody knows are the best, because technically, there's no way to do it wrong. See all that water? The salt draws that water out. Eventually it will boil off, and since butter and oil does not evaporate, that will be left in the pan, and it will start to saute. Okay? So while that's happening, I'm going to prep the other ingredient here, which is some nice shallot. You could use onions, you could use garlic, you could use both, but I had some shallots. So I'm just going to mince those up, and again, don't worry so much about precision cutting here. This is going to saute and stew for a while, so those are going to really cook down anyway. Alright, so you see there, this has been about 10 minutes, the water's gone, and those are kind of sauteing nicely. There's a little browning happening around the edges. I'm going to make a little well in the middle. So here we're kind of doing a saute pan inside of a saute pan. So push the mushrooms aside, add a little more butter, add your shallots, sweat those for about 2-3 minutes like that, and then stir everything together. Okay, you could just dump them all in, but I do like to do that little extra trick there. I think it makes it a little different. And really, who knows? That step may be totally unnecessary. But you know what? It looks good. It's fun. So I do it. And how long you cook this is up to you. I like to get a good amount of caramelization on the mushrooms. In fact, this could have gone another 10 minutes, but I was in a hurry, and the light was fading. But anyway, when the mushrooms are just about tender, and the shallots are pretty much soft, sweet, and starting to break down, you're good for the next step, which is a little drizzle of champagne or other white wine vinegar. You could use sherry vinegar. And we're also going to put in a splash of cognac. All right? If you're poor, just use brandy. As soon as the vinegar and the brandy or cognac are evaporated and you don't see any liquid in the pan, we're going to add our creme fraiche. So it's only going to take you like a minute or two. At that point, you're going to throw in your creme fraiche, which is so amazing. You know we make creme fraiche, right? You seen that video? Have you seen it? If not, click on that button and go watch the video. Can you use heavy cream? Sure, but don't. Use creme fraiche. It is awesome, tangy, nutty, just so much more delicious. All right, so we're going to stir that in. I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper, maybe another pinch of salt. I'm going to put some fresh marjoram. Italian parsley would be great here. Tarragon would be great here. Chive would be great here. I'm going to stop listing herbs. It would be great here. I'm going to add a splash of chicken stock or broth, or even a little water, but I had some chicken broth around. I'm going to turn this to medium-low, and I'm just going to let it sort of braise in that liquid until I'm happy with it. If it starts to get too thick, add a little more liquid. If it's too thin, let it reduce. You know the trick. We've done this so many times. All right, you're the boss of your sauce, so you control the texture. As long as the mushrooms are tender, it's done. But I like to let it simmer 10-15 minutes just to let all the flavors sort of meld together. And then, my favorite part. So I love to serve this on some grilled bread or toasted bread. It's just so perfect for absorbing all that amazing sauce. And here you see, I'm just serving this as a side dish to a piece of beef. Perfect for that. This is awesome for breakfast with a poached egg on it. Perfect for lunch with a salad. Just so many things you can do. Very, very versatile dish. And it's really, appearances to the contrary, it's really not a rich dish. I mean, very satisfying, but still fairly light in style. Look at that. So delicious. So I hope you give that a try. This will work with just regular old mushrooms, but you can find some wild mushrooms here and there. Go to the farmer's market, okay? Go to some nice stores. Get some mushrooms. Make this. You are going to love it. Check out foodwishes.com where you'll find all the ingredient amounts as usual. And as always, enjoy.